At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. Casual Friday, going with the casual garb this morning. How you doing this Friday? You know, there are a lot of things going on today, this weekend. And of course, a lot of it's going to be weather related. Are we going to be rain? Is it going to be cold? It's going to be wet, right? No, it's going to be gorgeous. We could not have asked for better weather for all of our outdoor events going on today and this weekend. And I tell you what, it's going to continue into next week. However, we are seeing some changes for next week. I've been talking about it the last few days. I will say this, the chances for rain next week, the forecast models, the long-range forecast models are backing off on it a little bit. Of course, we'll see about that here a few days from now, see what the forecast models are kind of projecting at this point. Wanted to start off with a beautiful shot here from Brian Houston. This is a view from Gazelle out in Siskiyou County. And I tell you what, I mean, if you can get anywhere in Siskiyou County and get a view of Mount Shasta, it's going to be gorgeous. Just if you can just get up a little bit high, you know, not high, like super high, but if you just get up above, you know, all the traffic or whatnot, tell you what, you got a beautiful sight. I mean, look at all that snow up there. You know, the ski park, I was looking at it the other day, and it's beginning to look like it's looking pretty bare up there. Let's see if, you know what, let me see if it's still up here. Like I say, it's getting a little bare up there, but the ski season's closed, right? They're not doing their thing up there anymore, so they don't really have to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can load this up here, get through that commercial. But, you know, it's one of those situations where, all right, probably could not have closed it sooner. I mean, there you can see right now, yeah, it's starting to melt. So they got plenty of snow up there. I think they've had plenty of snow all season long. But, yeah, it's beginning to melt. It's getting too warm during the day, so it probably just can't sustain itself. You know, if they had to at night, they probably could make snow if they wanted to extend the season. But from what I understand, I remember last year there was so much snow that they had more snow toward the end of the season than we've seen in quite a while. And but because of insurance purposes, they couldn't extend it because it was just too much. It cost too much for the insurance, and then of course they really couldn't make that up in profits. When it comes, that's from my understanding. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, there you have it. So we're still seeing a lot of snow up there in the mountains. We're seeing some gorgeous weather. Of course, that gorgeous weather is equating to, you know, less snow up there at Mount Shasta. Again, one last view of that shot that kind of motivated me to check out the ski park. Oh yeah, I mean, I just can't see pictures of Mount Shasta enough. You know, the thing is, living here in Northern California, if you live in an area in Northern California where you can see the mountains, you can see them anywhere, right? I, for the 25 years that I've lived here, never have taken for granted the beauty of the area here. You can't take it for granted because it's just gorgeous. Let's take a look at what we got going on right there for the satellite image here. You know, we've seen some clouds out there last night and this morning. And there are a few passing clouds, especially to the south this morning, but those will be dissipating. They'll be moving out. I expect to see mainly sunny skies. It's 54 right now in Redding, 57 for Oroville, 53 out in Corning. We've got 30 degrees for Alturas and 42 degrees right now in Eureka. Let's take a look at today, your neighborhood forecast at a glance. Well, there's that chance for isolated showers, which we'll take a look at that in just a second. But Modoc County, especially eastern Modoc County, and especially eastern East Mountains. So places like Alturas, Cedarville, Eagleville, right? You head to the south, places like, say, Susanville, and then south of that going into eastern Plumas County. But places like Bernie, probably not. Places like Chester, probably not. Quincy, you're getting close. But that's what we're looking at here as far as chances for isolated showers and maybe, just maybe, even an isolated thunderstorm. But otherwise, the rest of us are dry, and it's going to be much like it was yesterday temperature-wise. Hey, by the way, cool April nights. The big kickoff show is tonight. Of course, that's actually this afternoon. Springfest Car and Bike Show. It starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon until 8:30 tonight at 1504 Market Street, basically downtown. Temperatures in the mid-80s, possibly. So remember, as you're heading out there today, make sure you stay hydrated and, maybe bring on some sunscreen just to be on the safe side. You never can have too much sunscreen on, especially this time, this day and age, right? Get sunburned very easily. Nobody wants to get skin cancer. So we put on sunscreen to help protect our skin. So yes, get out there. Those cars are going to be shiny, shiny, shiny in that sun. And of course, maybe a few high clouds coming in later in the evening, but should be nice. As the sun gets closer to setting, we're dropping down into the 70s. Gorgeous. Love it. Get out there and enjoy it. Main Street Chico right now. This is Highway 32. Looks like, typically, right, not a lot of traffic out there. This is Highway 99 at Neal Road. Looks like they've turned the camera over and they're saying move over or slow for flashing lights. Well, that makes sense, right? I hope everybody does that. You should be doing that. They shouldn't have to remind you, but they probably feel a need to. Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44. Well, it looks like we're seeing those mainly clear skies out there this morning. And like I said, just a couple of passing high clouds. This is a look at Crescent City Harbor District. This, I was hoping to be a live shot, but it kind of freezes up sometimes. But this is, no more than, say, 5 minutes old. You get the idea. It's gorgeous out there, Crescent City Harbor District this morning. Let's take you out to Lake Or. Oh, man, that's gorgeous. Look at that. The beautiful sunny skies, a couple of passing clouds, some colors in there reflecting in the water. That is nice. Gotta love it. All right, let's take a look at the high temperatures we saw out there yesterday afternoon. And yes, it was a little bit warmer. We're seeing just those temperatures trending a little bit warmer. 82 degrees for Redding yesterday, 82 for Chico and Oroville, 80 in Corning, 60s, 70s for the higher elevations. Look at Bernie, 77, as well as Hayfork, 75 in Weaverville. But in those higher elevations, like Alturas, Susanville, in the mid to upper 60s. So let's take a look at Futurecast. Now, remember when I was talking about the chance for some thunderstorms, or showers, that is, east. All right, so what you'll notice here, and I think we're going to see it in the valley in particular, and of course you'll see it in the eastern mountains. If you look off in the distance, you are going to see some of those puffy, towering cumulus clouds begin to develop. And this is getting normal for this time of the year. As we start getting into the late spring and early summer season, we start seeing those puffy cumulus clouds developing in the mountains in particular. Now, 3 o'clock this afternoon, you see how it's not picking up on much? And so really, when I say a chance for some isolated showers, that's the case here. You are going to be drier than wet. More dry than wet, let's put it that way. More dry than wet in Modoc, Laston, and eastern Plumas County throughout the afternoon today. But again, don't be surprised if you see a pop-up shower later this afternoon and evening. But then by tonight, it's all gone. It should be gone by Sunday. All right, there's a look at your winds, and they're fairly calm right now. We take you into the noon hour. Not that bad, fairly calm. We take you into the afternoon. They're beginning to pick up a little bit. So you'll notice the calm winds this morning. We're getting into that a little over 10 mile an hour range. However, off in the east, with that potential for some of those showers, you've got those winds picking up a little bit from the west at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. All right, so here's your forecast for today. Temperatures in the low 80s in the valley. If you like the weather you saw yesterday, you're going to like the weather today. There's no doubt about that. 72 degrees in Susanville, 73 in Mount Shasta, 79 degrees in Weaverville, and there you can, of course, see temperatures low 60s. By the way, I guess there's a big event going on in Weaverville this weekend with the motorcycles. I believe the Hells Angels are involved. And by the way, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I have been hearing, and I heard that the Hells Angels are really starting to get more community-based. They're really trying to become more part of the community and kind of break away from the stereotype that they've had over the years. I think that's great. I love it when these organizations that may have a quote-unquote bad name are trying to turn things around. And that's just better for the community, right? Because that just means more help. And that's just great. I love it. So, yeah, I guess that's going on this weekend, or I think Saturday in Weaverville. All right, let's take a look at the 7-day outlook. And, of course, if you are in any shape or form involved in the cool April nights next week, you've got a close eye on the forecast for this weekend and next week. Now, take a look at Redding on Thursday. Take a look at Red Bluff and Chico on Thursday. What I've got there are more clouds, and I put the word chance in there. Now, when you see the word chance, what that's saying is, hey, listen, I'm not coming 100% on board for the rain, but I'm telling you, being on the lookout, there's the potential for some showers on Thursday. As it stands right now, I think that's the best chance in the next 7 to 8 days for the valley is on Thursday. It's not guaranteed. It may be here as early as Wednesday. It may wait until Friday. The timing and the intensity of next week's rain continues to change. It's not fairly consistent with the forecast models. Now look at the coast. Same situation. Thursday is the best chance, as well as the inland areas. But look at Weaverville. Tuesday, I've included a chance for some mountain showers. And that may actually extend into Wednesday as well. But for now, I've just got it for Tuesday. That's the case for Mount Shasta, El Turris, and Susanville. Wednesday, of course, looking at temperatures. And also, the other trend we need to talk about is the fact that temperatures are dropping, which that's good for cool April nights, right? Because you're not going to be in the 80s and 90s. It'll be more like the 60s, mid to upper 60s, as we get towards the end of the week. All right, just want to remind you, if you are new to Weather NorCal, if you're watching for the first time, did you know that there is a free Weather NorCal app? And I've been getting a lot of great reviews. People have been coming up to me saying they love the app. It's more accurate than the native iPhone app. They love it. They think it's great. Check it out. It's free. You won't have to pay for anything. And if you're watching right now on your computer or, or maybe on Facebook, whatever, you can also watch what you're watching right now from the app. All you do is click on the live 24-hour streaming channel, boom, and you're good to go. All right, today is Friday. It is time for our Pet of the Week, and I love these. It's so much fun. Kind of an interesting name with this week's Pet of the Week, sponsored by Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic. Hello everyone, Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal, and we've got Reed from Haven Humane Society, and kind of an interesting name, Applause, right? Like yes. Round of applause. Okay.
Because he's just that amazing.
So yes, you are an amazing animal. So what do we have here?
He is a 7-month-old, maybe lab pit mix.
Okay.
We've had him in our care now for about 2 months, and he has been a silly, goofy guy the entire time. Quite the gentleman.
So silly and a gentleman.
All of it.
What a great combination. You really can't beat that. Now, it's been about 2 months. Do you have a general idea what would be a good household for him?
I think he would fit in just about anywhere. He has done great with other dogs here at the shelter. He loves to play.
I see that,
but he's pretty respectful when he plays. He can read the room, see the vibe. He's done great with other dogs here.
Everybody loves that. I think it's always good to have a dog that can read the vibe and kind of know what kind of mood you're in. We're obviously in a silly mood, so you're feeling like you want to be silly.
He thinks he's a lap dog, which is okay for me right now.
Yes. So if you want a lap dog that's overly big, hey, you're in good shape. So what would the adoption fee be?
His adoption fee is $75. Okay. He has been neutered, microchipped, fully vaccinated, so he is healthy and ready to find his home.
You are good to go. You're ready. If you are ready for Applause, and who wouldn't be, give the number at the bottom of your screen a call, and they will take care of it. Haven Humane Society. Thank you so much for watching Pet of the Week, sponsored by Cottonwood Small Animal and Vet Clinic. We'll see you next week. All right, so there you have it. Of course, Pet of the Week at Haven Humane Society, proudly sponsored by Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic and Cottonwood Small Animal Clinic. Want to thank them for their sponsorship, not only of Pet of the Week, but our animal family, which, by the way, I do want to remind you that there is a great animal family part of the website. Let's take you to the website, and there you have it. You go to the home page, you scroll down, it says Animal Family. Click on that. And there are all kinds of great things in there. Of course, you got Pet of the Week. There he is. There's Applause. You can watch the latest there. And you click on Wonderful World of Animals. Ooh, look at that cool sign. What's that all about? Bigfoot? Well, maybe you should click on it and watch and check it out. But there are all kinds. I mean, this is going on since Weather NorCal launched almost a year ago, folks. I was just kind of reminiscing with an old friend, and yeah, June 20th. June 20th is going to be the year anniversary of Weather NorCal. So how exciting is that to see the growth? Coffee with Krueger has been expanding. So there you go. Everybody seems to be chiming in this morning. And Casey, Krista saying a beautiful shout of Mount Shasta earlier. Elaine saying good morning. Terry. We've got Dean. We've got Lisa Stevens. We've got hello, Terry. Curtis Brown saying it's been 80 the last 2 days. It's been pretty warm out there. We've had 2 days of, yeah, there it is. Curtis saying that. And then Nick Woods saying good morning. Bill Carlton. I don't know about that name there. And then Sandra Stearns saying good morning to everybody as well. So thank you for your kind words. Thank you for watching. Hey, what do you say? We talk about some cool events here. I'm going to get you into this. Now, this was actually shared by one of our viewers of an event going on this weekend. It's actually going to be on Sunday. It's a public breakfast. It's in Millville, the IOOF. I don't know exactly how you say that. And that's from 8 a.m. until 10:30 in the morning. And you can go 22551 Silver Lane Road. This is basically just past the town of Palisadro, near the golf course. They got pancakes, sausage, eggs, coffee, juice, biscuits, gravy, honey, too. Oh, very nice. All right, let's get you to the forecast because I'm sure, a lot of people are kind of wondering what's going to be happening with the weather. Because the thing is, we got all kinds of great events going on. Oops, no, hold on. We'll get there. One-man band, folks. One-man band right here. Playing my banjo, playing my trumpet, also playing the banjo, trumpet, the drums. I'm a one-man band, one-man show. All right, here you go. So we're going to start our forecast, of course, mentioning our sponsor. We can't forget about that, Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So look at those current temperatures out there right now, and it's pretty mild. We've been dealing with these mild mornings here in the valley with temperatures mainly in the 50s here the last few mornings. There you can see 54 for Chico, 57 out in Oroville, and right now in the 30s and 40s, often the higher elevations, and for the coast in the mid to upper 40s. So here's your weather headlines. We've got a slight chance for a few isolated showers to the east today. We're going to take a closer look at Futurecast and show you where that will be. It's still going to be breezy at times, off and on today, tomorrow, really most likely through the weekend, with mainly dry, and again, I say mainly dry and warm through the weekend. There's one little kink in there for Saturday, which we'll talk about here in just a bit. And then a cooling trend next week. Yeah, we've got a gradual cooling trend along with that potential for showers. All right, there's your cool April nights. Big event going on tonight, the Spring Fest Car and Bike Show. 4 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. It's going to start off fairly warm. Make sure you've got water, stay hydrated, make sure you've got the sunscreen, but then the temperatures will start to dip back down to the 70s by the time the sun goes down. Should be a wonderful event. I'm hoping to get out there, and if not, well, I hope you all have a good time. There, of course, are some of those clouds that are kind of moving on through this morning. I do expect a lot of that to kind of move out. Even though high pressure is in place, we're still seeing a lot of these clouds kind of moving through. It's what we call a dirty ridge of high pressure. Typically with high pressure, it's sunny, right? But sometimes these ridges are pretty weak and it allows these clouds to move through. So there are the clouds this morning. You see how it kind of clears out. But look right here. You'll probably notice through the afternoon hours, the cumulus clouds beginning to develop. Those puffy cumulus clouds developing through the afternoon on Friday. So 3 p.m., especially out into eastern Plumas County. But, this whole general area, anywhere where you see these clouds, there could be a passing shower. And maybe, just maybe, even an isolated thunderstorm. Here, 6 p.m. on Friday. You can see it around Modoc County. Look at that. It's even extending as far west as maybe even eastern Siskiyou County. That's not out of the question. But I think most of it's going to be kind of in this general area right here. Of course, the rest of us are dry today. Now, remember that little kink I was talking about on Saturday? Look at this little band of moisture. Now, this is a whole lot of, quite honestly, nothing. But that being said, if you run into a little drizzle, some light showers, a passing shower tomorrow afternoon along the coast, Don't be surprised, but it's just going to be mostly cloudy and dry. And then if we go into Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and then into Sunday, Sunday's looking pretty good too. In fact, I think no more chances for rain, at least on Sunday. Now let's take a look at the long range. This is what I think a lot of people are going to be eyeing here for next week. And I will say this, as far as the long range forecast model is concerned and going into next week, it's one of those stay tuned type of forecast. And the reason being is we're going to see what we're watching right now change. There's no doubt about it. So watch my evening forecast, watch meteorologist Brian Wilson over the weekend. He'll have the latest on the storms coming in for next week. And then, of course, I'll be back on Monday to keep you updated what we can expect through the week of cool April nights, because I know a lot of people like to see dry conditions. We love it. We love it when it's dry, but that can change here. So let's take a look at, of course, it's dry through the weekend, as I mentioned, right? But there's a storm system down to the south. That stays to our south. But look at this. We're kind of seeing these two kind of do this. So we have this storm that's approaching, but rather than going through us, it's splitting. So we see some to the south, we see some to the north. So there may be a stray shower for parts of the mountains on Tuesday, but don't count on it. Should be dry in the valley on Tuesday. Got my eyes on this guy right here. You see this energy? This is all heading our way. Now, I expect Wednesday should be dry. We'll be between systems. And then Thursday, this looks, I think, bigger than it will be, quite honestly. But if we see at this point in the game, based on all of the forecast model data I've been looking at, I would say Thursday, right now, at this point in time, is our best bet for measurable rainfall in the valley next Thursday. That, of course, is during cool April nights. We'll probably have some show and shines that day. So that's what it looks like right now. Now, the timing, the intensity of this is most likely going to change. It may get here a day earlier. It may get here a day later. We'll see. But this is what it looks like right now on Thursday. And by the way, snow probably fairly high above 5,000 to 6,000 feet. Then, as we go into Friday, so this would be the cool April nights cruise, you see how it's picking up on a few mountain showers. But another thing, really the main headline here is this. You see this? This is strong north winds. Now, the earlier run of this forecast model had this actually over us on Friday. So I think if you had a choice between rain or wind, I think many of you would probably pick the wind because nobody wants that rain on those cars. But again, stay tuned forecast because this is going to be changing. Now, this is kind of wetter than usual down to our south and east. And you can see it starts getting smaller and smaller chances of the wetter than normal as we get closer to us. But I do expect those cooler temperatures. It's going to be a gradual drop. You think about last week when we went from 80 to 60 in a matter of 24 hours, right? In general. That's not going to be the case with this cooling trend. It's going to be 80, eventually dropping down to the low to mid 60s, but it's going to take like 3 or 4 days for it to get there. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at here for next week and kind of in that longer range. All right, the winds for today, you can see here, they're picking up a little bit. They're calm right now, and I wouldn't even call it breezy, but although maybe a little bit breezy off in the eastern mountains later on this afternoon and evening. Now, tomorrow morning, should be nice, a good start to the day. Saturday afternoon, the wind's actually picking up a little bit here. Look at them coming in from the north and west, especially on the north and west side of the valley. So Redding, Anderson, west of Red Bluff, maybe some stronger winds, but on the south and east side of the valley, maybe not as bad. Meanwhile, the eastern mountains seeing some gusty winds, but not so bad for the coast. Now we go into your Sunday, and in the morning, look at that. Maybe a bit of a breezy north wind Sunday morning, not to mention along the coast, and then going into Sunday afternoon, the winds may be subsiding a little bit, but still maybe a bit breezy. So this is what I was talking about, off and on breezy conditions here across the board for all of Northern California through the weekend. Here, your wave heights for today shouldn't be too much of a concern, but notice as we go into Saturday, they're going to be low. That's good. But I'd expect that by Saturday night into Sunday, these higher wave heights may start to move in. Here's a marine forecast for your Friday. North winds at 5 to 10 knots. Waves from the northwest at 3 feet at 7 seconds. And from the southwest at 2 feet at about 15 seconds. All right, here's what it looks like here for today. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. So let's start with looking at the 7-day forecast. For all of the mountains, we're going to be looking at a chance for showers on Tuesday. Honestly, I probably should have even put that chance on Wednesday because, again, it's going to be a timing thing. And then there's that chance on Thursday as well. Temperatures today, though, no rain. at least for Trinity County. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Low 70s for Forest Glen, 73 degrees for Ruth, 78 degrees out in Hayfork, and 72 in High Palm. All right, let's take you off to the north coast in southern Humboldt County. 71 degrees for Honeydew, 62 degrees in Shelter Cove. Notice again, we're going to hold off until Thursday before you see that chance for showers inland. That's also the case for places like Ferndale, Fortuna, Hydesville, and Rio Dell. All right, we take you up to the north. Now, as I mentioned, on Saturday, Trinidad, McKinleyville, Arcata, Eureka, if you see a stray sprinkle tomorrow afternoon, don't be surprised. But today, gorgeous. And of course, through really the middle of next week. And same situation, Smith River all the way down to Oric. If you see a passing sprinkle, don't be surprised, but I wouldn't count on it. 67 degrees for Gasquet. Again, when I say sprinkle, that's for tomorrow, not today. 81 degrees out in Horse Creek, 78 degrees in Happy Camp, and 75 degrees in Montague. Your Scott Valley neighborhood forecast, again, there it is Tuesday, quite honestly, probably even Wednesday, and not to mention Thursday, that chance for showers. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, central and east. Well, temperature is gorgeous today. Upper 60s to the higher elevations. You get a little bit lower, place like Mount Shasta, about 73. 68 degrees for Newell, 69 degrees for Alturas, 66 degrees for Cedarville. I'd say your best chances for showers will be kind of in this general area right here. Although we did see Futurecast picking up even into southeastern portions of Siskiyou County. We'll see. And then, of course, for the eastern mountains, once again, Bernie, Montgomery Creek, probably not showers, but maybe Bieber. And Bieber, honestly, might be kind of pushing it as well. But I think it'll be a slimmer chance for those isolated showers for places like Bernie today. But as we start heading out towards, say, Westwood, eastward, I think better chances there. There you can see 70 degrees for Chester today, 62 degrees for Manzanita Lake. We take you to the south, and again, let's talk about Susanville, Janesville, Cromberg, Portola, Doyle. I think these are all the best chances for those showers today, this afternoon. But again, don't count on it. And then slimmer chances heading off to the west. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Those temperatures will be in the low 80s. It's going to be another warm day. And so make sure you've got that sunscreen. Make sure you've got stay hydrated. If you're going to be doing anything outside today, 78 degrees out of Whiskeytown, 81 for City of Shasta Lake, 77 degrees for Lakehead, and Anderson, about 83 degrees. All right, so there's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Temperatures are going to be in the low 80s. And there you have it. Mid-80s, though, by Sunday, Monday. And then I'm expecting those temperatures to slowly, remember I was talking about that gradual drop. We're going from 85 on Monday and about a 20-degree drop, but in a matter of 3 days instead of just 24 hours. So that's kind of what we're looking at right there. So there you have it. That is a look at your forecast. Hope you have yourselves a great day, everybody. Let's see here if there's any more comments kind of going on here. Lisa is saying, Sadie in the house. Great job on your ag report. All right, another one. Another one who appreciated her ag reports. She did a great job here. Let's kind of see what's going on as far as the cameras. And we'll kind of leave you. I want to leave you with it. I just can't get enough of this one. I love this shot. A view from Gazelle from Brian Houston. By the way, if you have photos that you want to share, you can share them from the app. That's the best way to do it, folks. Get the app, get the free app, and then you scroll all the way to the bottom, and that's where you can share the photos. It'll walk you through it. It's a pretty easy process. It just needs access to your photo album, and then from there you pick the picture you want to share. You share your email, and then any other pertinent information about the picture. It's very important that you let me know what we're looking at here. And if you're dealing with snow, I usually like to see snow elevations as well. All right. That is pretty much going to wrap up the show, folks. I certainly appreciate you all coming by this morning. By the way, I wanted to ask one question, and I might even do a poll on Facebook. I am thinking about pushing the time of Coffee with Krueger back a half an hour. So instead of 6:30 in the morning, let me turn that music down again. So instead of 6:30 in the morning, I was thinking of doing Coffee with Krueger starting at 7 a.m. I still think that's a time when people may be around and kind of getting ready in the morning. My thought was, I even wanted to maybe start it at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I think most people are kind of getting up between the hours of 6 and 7. I don't know. You tell me, what do you think? I think I had asked this earlier. I was thinking about doing 6, and then I think a lot of people are actually saying 7 o'clock. So let me know what you think. You don't have to necessarily, you don't have to necessarily comment now, but you may see, I'll do kind of like a unofficial poll on Facebook maybe, and just see what you think. Because I just want this to be the most effective, and I wanted to get out to the highest population, obviously. I want people to really, be able to take advantage of this. So tell me what you think. All right, so we've already got someone who's voting definitely 7 a.m. And here's another thing. Well, no, we'll I guess I'll have to kind of think about that later, but okay. All right, 7 a.m. it is. 7 works better for Dizzy Did and I. Okay. So I'm already hearing people saying that it's going to work better for them. Yeah, the thing is, it's like when, back in my news days, I remember, the news would start at 5, and then, of course, it was about a 2-hour show from 5 till 7. But I remember like that first hour, it just felt like, is anybody even watching at 5 a.m.? And I suppose there are. I know that there are a lot of early birds. I was actually just tracking, and in fact, you know what? I'm going to track it right now because I post my 5 o'clock in the morning weather hit at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I noticed here, for the most part, it's not a lot of people viewing between the hours of 5 and 6. It's once we get to that 6 o'clock hour, and really even that 7 o'clock hour, that I start seeing the view numbers start to go up. So it's pretty clear to me that the number of people up that early in the morning, maybe, we got another 6 a.m. Either works for me. You start work at 6 a.m. But you're also probably at home. I think you said you work from home, right, Lisa? So you could have it in the background. And what's cool about it, Lisa, is I don't know if you have Roku or Amazon Fire Stick, but if you're working from home, then you can have it in the background on your Roku or Amazon Fire Stick, or if you have a smart TV with YouTube, by the way. Patricia says you actually like 6:30. All right, so I think it's going to be mixed. It'll be interesting. I'm going to do a poll. So for those of you that voted just now, us here in Shingletown, let's see here. Us here in Shingletown, that commute will miss you. We leave, oh no, see that's a bummer. So Sean, you'll miss me at 7 o'clock. Yep, starts work in PJs. Yeah, so do I. I start my work in my PJs too. All right, Sean, so that's something to think about. So chime in on the vote, and we'll see where most of the votes go. Here's what I'm going to say. I was having kind of a long conversation with my wife last night, and we were kind of talking about the hours and my health. Honestly, my health has kind of gone south a little bit, and it's nothing to be concerned about, folks. I just want you to know I'm fine, and I'm going to be fine. But my cholesterol numbers went up. It's not good. So I really do have to just eat broccoli for the rest of my life, is essentially what's happening here. But one of the things I think to good health, and studies have proven this, is that Americans are getting less and less sleep. And so when you have a morning shift like this, you get up early in the morning, because the thing is, 6:30 in the morning may not seem early for some of you, but I can't just wake up at 6:30 and go, hey, good morning, right? I have to get everything prepared before the 6:30 show. And so I got to be up bright and early to get all that stuff prepared. So that's kind of what's going on here. And that's one of the reasons why I've been kind of pushing toward more of a later start. Ronald Blue, you're asking, did you see my question about summer expectations? Yes, I did. Sorry. I saw that, but then I was kind of chatting on about when the start time of the show. So your question is, do you think our summer is going to be hot as heck, like in years past, or is it going to be worse? Well, bottom line, it's going to be hot as heck, right? It's always going to be, 100, 110 degrees. But here's the thing. We've had a fairly cold winter, and this has been, for the most part, a fairly mild start to spring as well. We've had these kind of warm spells and then a big dip in the temperatures and a warm spell. And the thing, when I look at the long range, when I look down the line, I am not seeing, and I'm going to, for fun, kick up the old Climate Prediction Center and see what they're saying here. I'm going to get this up here. Excuse me here while all right, so we're going to do the 3-month outlook for temperature. All right, so let's take you to this map right here, Ronald. This will kind of help give you some perspective. Based on the Climate Prediction Center, and of course, you're looking, the thing is, and I've always said this, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. When you go out a month, 2 months, 3 months, you just can't. You can't say, this is it. This is exactly what's going to happen. You can just go off the trends that we've been experiencing and what we possibly might see moving forward. How? So, based on the Climate Prediction Center that you're seeing right here, you see the lighter and those darker shades of orange? So, what I'm going to do here is I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, the lighter shade of orange, that is categorized as leaning above normal temperatures. Okay, so what that means is there's a 33 to 40% chance that we could see above average temperature. It would be above average for those 3 months of May, June, and July. The darker shades of orange is a 40 to 50% chance of seeing above normal temperatures. Now, what does that mean? If our normal temperature is 95, if it gets up to 96, that's above normal. If it gets up to 110, that's above normal, right? So it just depends. But based on this, it looks like it's leaning toward, at least for Northern California, it's leaning towards a above normal summer season. Is that guaranteed? No. I can tell you that much right now. No way, it's not guaranteed. Let's take a look at the temperature outlook for the 1 month. So we look at the month of May. See that? So where you see no shading, it's just white or gray, that's near normal. But look at where we are for the month of May. Leaning toward above normal temperatures, but barely. So that kind of goes in line with what I'm seeing here, and what have been seeing is that we see these little warms, but we really, think about it, folks, we haven't had a major heat wave yet. Sometimes as we even get into April, you start getting into the 90s, but that certainly hasn't been the case there, right? So, what did I say? All right, good. I've got another vote for 7. 7:30 would be amazing. All right. Let's get some weather NorCal shirts and hats. I'm sure the service you provide, yeah, you know what, Ronald, and I was even talking about this as well. I've got to figure out, and I'm going to do some research on that. I've said it in the past. I'm just so busy. It's hard to do the research and find. But yeah, I appreciate that, Ronald. He's saying, let's get some weather shirts and hats. I'm sure the service you provide has to cost you money, so we can totally chip in and help out and promote you at the same time. My wife and I love you, dude. All right, I love you too, guys. I love all of you guys. All right, it does warm my heart. It's been it's been an up and down ride over the last year doing this. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I think you all know the passion that I have for weather. And when I get the support from you all, it keeps me going. So yeah, I want to do that. I want to see, here's the thing. So I've been working with Inked Up Graphics. You may be familiar with them. Inked Up Graphics, before I launched, they agreed to do a trade with me, and they made some shirts and hats. I'm actually starting to run out of hats. The hats are the big popular ones. So I may have them make more, or I may talk to them and see what their suggestions are. I would love to be able to start up a store that you can go to and then order those shirts, order hats, whatever, and they can order from that company straight to you. But yeah, I'd love to get more swag out there. So great, Ronald. Thanks for kind of prompting me and reminding me to do that. 6:30 or 7. Either works for me. Coffee cups. Oh yeah, coffee cups. That's a good idea. So I've got these coffee cups. It's got it says no hype, just weather. I hate hype. Oh, I hate hype. Man, I tell you, when I was working at in TV, and when the consultants became a big thing back, I forget how many years ago. It was a while back. Here's what the consultant told me. First day. So this is me after 15 years in the business, 10 years in the business, doing my thing. I've been doing well. I get into an office with him, and this is what he says to me right off the bat. Boom, introduces himself to me. He didn't even give his name. He says, all right. He had like some kind of chart up on the wall about all the statistics and what all the research is showing. And he said, how long have you been doing the weather, Mike? And I said, it was like 10 or 15 years. And he said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, the way you've been doing the weather since day one is wrong. You're like, oh, okay. Well, I've been wrong this whole time. I'm terrible, right? So then it started going into, you need to do hype, you don't do educational stuff, don't show high, low pressure, don't teach people about the weather. They just want the weather. And you know what? He may be right. I think some people just want the weather. But the thing is, people like the in-depth forecast that I provide. That's what I take pride in, and I do the in-depth. And so if I'm expecting a big storm, I'll say it's a big storm, but I'm not going to say, it's the storm of the century, and do a headline or anything like that. I hate that. It just drives me nuts. The overuse of atmospheric river, the overuse of bomb cyclone, the overuse of nor'easters, the overuse of all that stuff. Drives me nuts. And I hate it. So, again, I got off a little tangent, but this is my coffee mug right now that I've made. I didn't make very many because they were expensive, and I'm still kind of, and then of course my logo on there. But I think a cool coffee with Krueger mug would be cool. So you know what? Maybe we'll when I do we're going to figure out some giveaways for the Reading Rodeo. I'm a sponsor of Reading Rodeo. Isn't that cool? I'm working with Reading Rodeo. So next week you'll start hearing some more details. But I'm going to have some rodeo tickets to give away. I'm very excited about that. So stay tuned for that and those giveaways. So maybe with the Reading with the rodeo tickets, maybe I'll throw in some shirts to go along with it, because I do have a box of shirts. But it's hard to put a price on it because or even, but maybe bring it to different events. So there you go. Coffee cups would be great. I want to wear a t-shirt wintertime, a hoodie. All right, good idea. I didn't have any winter stuff made this year. Just the shirts. I've got t-shirts, and that's really about it. And of course the hats. Those went pretty quickly too. We will watch no matter what you decide. We enjoy each day. Look forward to buying something. If my husband leaves early, he'll call to see what you said about the weather. Oh, there you go. Or tell your husband to get the app. Tell him if he doesn't already have it, but he can watch my forecast from the app. Yeah, he doesn't have to call you. He can find out in the app himself. Real question: what is the biggest thing you miss working for KRCR? Probably nothing, because you can be your own platform. I don't miss media. The dramatics are awful. Some people take advantage of their experience and flaunt. It's gross. I'll say here's what I'll say about this. One of the biggest things I miss working for KRCR is when you're working for a company, when you work for somebody else, you don't have the overhead. You don't have to worry about all of everything that goes on with the business. You are given a task. You do your task to the best of your ability, and they pay you for that, right? And then for the most part, when I was off the clock, I was off the clock, right? I would still do stuff on social media. If there were big weather events, I would still do stuff and stay later or come in earlier or, all that stuff. But the one thing I do miss is being able to shut myself off, turn everything off when I was done for the day. But that being said, I really didn't even turn myself off even when I was over at Channel 7, because I I would still be active on social media and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't have to worry about it as much. I mean, I've got a 24-hour streaming channel that I've got to monitor and make sure it's working properly, which it does for the most part. I don't have to really worry about it. It just runs by itself. But, you know, it's something I got to think about. It's in the back of my head. I've got 3 updates a day: 5 o'clock in the morning, noon, 6 o'clock p.m. So I'm responsible for those. I do have the weekends off. I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, so it's the overhead. I got to pay for all of these things. I've got a marketing and a salesperson to help sell ads, because that's the key, right? We need to sell advertising. I need to get advertising in order to pay the bills and to pay the overhead. This weather computer that I've been using, it's a highly sophisticated weather computer and very expensive. It's the type of weather, it's the same weather computer system you're going to see at TV stations across the nation. So I wanted to make sure I had the best tools, and I do. I have phenomenal tools. So that's kind of the long answer to that. I do miss it. I do miss having coworkers. I do miss, Nazi was great when I worked with Kelly Som. It was great having someone to bounce stuff off of, right? It allowed my personality to come out a little bit more. Just having fun, making jokes, all that kind of stuff. So, could that mean something for me in the future? Moving forward with Coffee with Krueger? Sure. I mean, it's super raw right now. You got the green screen back here. So I'd like to eventually get a bigger studio, but that all costs money. That's where sponsorship comes in. There's nothing like you. Don't stop doing it. Yes. For the love of weather, take care of you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's one of the things that I was talking about with my wife, is figuring out ways to adjust things a little bit so I can take care of my health a little bit better and get just a little bit more sleep. We'll see. We'll see. I'll help advertise. Message me details. Okay, let's talk. I mean, I've got a marketing person, but I don't have a very big budget, if a budget, for advertising, at least right now. So for me to go out and put billboards up and all that kind of stuff, because that's the key, right? What I'm noticing, and I'm going to say this, is that in the very beginning, everyone's like, how's retirement? And I had to kind of just tell people what I'm doing. But I'm seeing now more of a shift of people saying, I watch Weather NorCal. So that tells me that it's growing and more people are watching and seeing it. So that's awesome. I love that. Can you track how many followers you have? Yes, for the most part. There's analytics on the website. I can see on Facebook how many followers I have, which has grown. I can track, how many people have downloaded the app, things like that. So the analytics are things that obviously help drive customers as far as advertisers wanting to advertise. So that's kind of what we do here. So when I say you're doing it for free, all right, let's talk. let's see what you got. I'm open to anything here. So yeah, I'll personal message you. You can also personal message me on Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook, you probably do because you're on Facebook right there. You can personal message me to kind of maybe nudge me a little bit because I may forget. Oh, Chico. I agree. I wanted to, I definitely want to hit the Chico market a little bit better. And I want others in the surrounding area to know about me. I want the coast. I want Siskiyou County. I know that there are a lot of people in Siskiyou County who are watching and seeing what I'm doing here. But it's kind of the core. It's kind of one of these things where the core is right here in Redding. I'm not going to try to fool anybody. I live here in Redding. And that's where the core is. That's where most of my people are. Then you start spreading out and it gets slimmer and slimmer, but there's kind of little pockets of heavier activity. Like Siskiyou County has higher pockets. The coast, I'd like to see that get a little bit higher, quite honestly, and down towards Chico. I'd like to see that get a little bit higher. And east, right? I would like for Susanville to discover me and know what's going on, because they're in a different television market. They're in the Reno market. Right, so if they can discover, hey, there's somebody in California forecasting weather for a California town, So I do the radio updates, which, by the way, give you a quick reminder of my radio partners that I have here. which, yeah, they'll be calling here in about 10 minutes, so I don't have a ton of time. We'll have to kind of wrap this up soon. But let me just show you this real quick. I do have some radio partners, and K-Shasta, 106X, and KQMS. And I got to tell you, I am so grateful for them because they have been really helping to spread the word. Don and Heather in the mornings, Logan Kane, boy, he's awesome because at the end of every time when we're done talking, he always highlights something a little different that I do here at Weather NorCal, whether it's the app, the 24-hour streaming channel, and I've always really appreciated him letting people know what it is I do with Weather NorCal. And then, of course, KQMS, you know, it seems like we talk forever. We have a great time, and of course, he helps promote it as well. So yeah, if you're in your car in the morning, heading off to work, see those different times in there, 7:30 in the morning, 7:50 for 106X, or just shortly after 8 o'clock in the morning, News Talk KQMS. So, my buddy up there in Shingletown, what was your name? Let me try to remember. I'm so bad with names. I need to get better with that. Who was saying this? It was somebody in Shingletown. But you were saying that, oh, Sean Lamb. So Sean, when you're driving from Shingletown, you leave around 7, you could listen to K-Shasta, right? And at 7:30, you could, I don't know how long it takes you. It probably doesn't take you 30 minutes to get to Reading. But if you're still in your car, you can watch K-Shasta. And if you're in the office or whatever, 8:05 in the morning, you can get my latest forecast there as well. So just kind of a few things to think about. And by the way, you can watch, I record Coffee with Krueger, and then of course I upload it afterwards onto my website. Let me show you where that is, in case you're interested. So I'm going to go to the home page. Here's the home page, right? You just scroll down. Oh, and that's not the home page. Let's go back to the home page. There's the home page, sponsored by Everything Medical, one of my sponsors. Helps pay the bills. There it is. See, they're right there, Coffee with Krueger. Weekday mornings at 6:30. I may have to change the graphic to 7. We'll see. But there it is. Of course, Wind River, big sponsor. Thank them, right? You can watch, that was yesterday's Coffee with Krueger. So you click on it, and there it is. There's yesterday's forecast, April 18th. Of course, but, you know, in the next half hour or so, it'll be uploaded with the latest. So you can go check that out. All right, let's see if there's anything we can kind of wrap things up. Well, this is, it's been interesting because I was getting ready to wrap up, and I got into some great conversations with all of you, and I appreciate that. No hope zone in Montgomery Creek. I'm not sure what that means, Kevin. No hope zone. We like the in-depth weather and learning from you. Keep it up. Yes, okay. Yes, that's the key, Jackie. Share. That's the best way you can help, is by letting your friends know. Share and tell people. Share it on Facebook. Anything that I post, share it. Big Bend and Bernie area. That's where you, Kim, are. Oh yeah. I think that a lot of people in Bernie know what I'm doing, and hopefully that kind of grows as well. And of course, we can't forget about our friends up in Modoc County. Boy, I tell you what, now there's a county that's been getting ignored by the media. And so I've got a whole neighborhood for you. And that's another thing. Tell your friends about the neighborhood forecast. Let's do that real quick too. I'm going to show you here. We're going to go to the website again. And you can go to different places. So at the very top, you see it says below the main banner, it says neighborhoods. To the right of that, and I'd like to maybe make that a little bit bigger and more visible, but you know, for now it works. You can see the 6 different neighborhoods that you can got right here. Now, if you're more visual person, scroll down to the bottom, and then of course you can click on the neighborhood you want. So there's El Tourist, there's Modoc County, getting the attention that they deserve for so many years, getting ignored. So there you go. All right, it's been fun. I appreciate everybody kind of chiming in and chatting it up, and you know, kind of going with the flow here. I appreciate that. Good. I'm glad that you love the neighborhoods. That was one of the first things when I first thought about, you know, doing this. That was one of my first ideas. That was one of the first things I wanted to do, was to make sure that everybody got the attention that they needed that's been ignored over the years. The 7-day forecasts, it never made sense to me why the only 7-day forecasts you see are for Chico and Reading. There's so many microclimates around here. If it's going to be a high of 90, it's not going to be 90 degrees in Bernie. Well, maybe sometimes, especially in the summer. But you get the idea, right? It's different for everybody, especially in the mountains. And that's why the neighborhoods are such a great resource, because now you can go to one place, and that's Weather NorCal, and get everything you need weather-wise. And by the way, I'm talking about weather. You may notice that I do some non-weather related stuff like the Ag Report. We saw Pet of the Week here this morning, Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. I want to expand that. I want to do more community stuff. Of course, now I've got to find freelancers, people that can do it, but we'll see, you know. But I want you to have a resource for good weather and positive information, positive stories. Because if you want to hear about a train crash or a car crash or, you know, see the latest mugshot of something that happened, you know where you can go for that. It's definitely not Weather NorCal. You know, in fact, it was last week there was some of you may remember, they shut down Cypress Avenue because there was some kind of standoff with somebody, there were gunshots, the works, right? It was a mess. They closed down Cypress. I happened to be in that area at the time, and I walked up and I was talking to someone who saw everything. My first initial reaction was, oh my gosh, I got to get on, I got to tell everybody about it. But then I thought, no, I don't want to do that. Because number one, it's negative. Number two, I don't want people getting used to coming to Weather NorCal for hard news, because that's not what I'm going to do. That's what I'm never going to do. I've never liked hard news, and I'm never going to be a part of that. So, but positive news, that's good stuff. I mean, just to kind of give you an idea, cooking, we do agriculture. How about maybe some good hikes around the area, right? So there's so many great opportunities for us to kind of, you know, expand and do things, and we'll see. We'll see. It's a matter of, can I get the resources? I do know that I want to beef up the Roku and Amazon Fire Stick and get an Apple TV app. I do know I want to beef those up, but boy, let me tell you, getting an app made for Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, oh, talk about shell shock or sticker shock when I got the quote. Woo. All right, that's where sponsors come in. Thank you, Wind River. Thank you, Crown Motors. By the way, Crown Motors, woo, I tell you what, big sponsor. Without them, everything that you're seeing here, all of this here to this, all of this over here, all of this down here, right, wouldn't be possible without Crown Motors. All of my weather computer stuff without Crown Motors. All of my equipment that I have for my studio, couldn't have done it. Crown Motors was there, they did it for me, and big proud to have them as my sponsor. Community event, Lynn Jones, yes, exactly. Community events, like a community calendar. I love that idea. Again, and I've talked about this before, getting that information is sometimes hard. Ooh, we're getting close. I'm gonna get called by Kay Shasta here very soon. So, on that note, you all have yourselves a great day. Thank you so much for all of your interaction, and I appreciate it. I wish we could keep talking, but I got Kay Shasta is about to call me here in just a second. So, have yourselves a great day. We're not even going to wrap it up. Maybe put a little bit of music in there. Get a little jazzy music. Is it going? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So have yourselves a great Friday. We got great things going on for the weekend. Stay safe. Have a good time. Stay hydrated. Wear your sunscreen. If you're going to the Red Bluff Roundup, if you're going to any Cool April Nights events, stay hydrated. Wear that sunscreen. But most of all, enjoy yourself and have a great day. I'm going to leave you with a camera of Trinidad, just north of Trinidad, Elk Country. Until then, we will see you on Monday morning at 6:30. You know what? Maybe we'll start at 7 o'clock. We'll see. But we'll see you Monday morning, nonetheless, on Coffee with Krueger.